What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Unscripted Sports Show. I'm your host, Money E, with my brother, Chris. How are you, Chris?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. It's wildcard weekend. Um, Probably one of the best times of the year, even though it's the beginning of the year. But the wildcard weekend is probably the best weekend of football of the season because it's the first weekend of the playoffs. So everybody's excited, especially Eagle fans. I know you are. I know. I am. I mean, Clint couldn't be here today, but I know he is. We all Eagle fans have high expectations for this team, so let's hope doesn't crash and burn. But we all have hope. So for a long playoff run. But let's get started. Chris, you did a great job last week, 6-1.
Wow.
If
What I miss out on?
If you didn't change your KC pick last week, you would have gone. You would have gone undefeated.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah. I think that was your best week of the season too.
Yeah, I needed that.
Great job. I went 5-2. If I hadn't changed, I changed my KC pick. I changed it to KC too. And then, so I'm 73-54 in regular season, 66-62. Plymouth went 3-4, 20-11 on the season. He hasn't been here every week, so yeah, let's get through. Let's recap. It's not much to recap because some of the games sucked. Nothing to say about the Eagles game, pretty much. Commanders came back and won to seal the fifth seed. Was it the fifth? No, sixth seed. The Bears upset the Packers. That sealed it too. And that's our next opponent. We'll get to that. The Jets beat the Dolphins. Of course, the last week you picked the Jets. You've been picking the Jets a lot this year, and the one time you picked them, they actually win.
I know. I just figured that they had to win
right?
one. Yeah, I just figured they had to win some at some point.
They win a meaningless game on the last game of the season. The Broncos shut out the Chiefs. I'm really surprised the Chiefs didn't. I guess they didn't try. They didn't care about that game. Texans beat the Titans. They come in the playoffs with a win. The Panthers beat the Falcons in overtime, 44-38, and that was interesting because at one point it looked like they were going to make the playoffs, and the Buccaneers were going to fold and lose to the Saints. Looked like the Falcons were going to steal that division.
Mm-hmm.
The Buccaneers come into the playoffs limping. They barely escaped against the Saints, which I'm really surprised at how poorly they played. Especially, I mean, Mike Evans, not until the last play, he didn't get his bonus.
Yeah, barely got it.
Yeah, everybody was on his props, and including myself. That was like the most probably bet prop on Sunday. And he did get a touchdown, right?
Yeah, he got it, I think. Yeah.
Lions and Vikings. What were your thoughts on this game? Since this is probably the only one that really that mattered in the bigger picture.
Vikings are frauds. They might be. I don't know.
Yeah. I was surprised how bad they played, and we'll get to those picks later. But I'm really surprised how bad they really played on the national stage. Everybody's watching. It's supposed to be the biggest game of the year. Number one seed on the line against your rivals, the Lions, and you don't show up. They look unprepared. They just look lost out there. I missed the first half, but the second half I was watching, and they just look bad, like real bad. Like Sam Darnold looked like the Jet when he was playing with the Jets. Sam Darnold. That's no disrespect to Sam Darnold. He's had a great season. In terms of his in his he's had a great season in terms of his quality and the way he's been having the career he's had. So he looks like the Jets, Sam Darnold. I'm really surprised how bad, especially the play calling, too. You know, what was it? They go for a field goal instead of a 4-for-1 in the third quarter. You're down 17-9, and then you miss a field goal. That turned the whole fourth quarter around, because if they have got went for it on fourth down and got it, they might have gone down and scored a touchdown. Because I was watching that game, and I said, "Why are you going for a field goal? You're down 17-9 in this an important game." That completely changed everything, because the Vikings didn't score after that.
Yep. Yeah, that was very strange. Very strange.
Let's see. Let's go to NFL filings real quick. Are you surprised that the guys who got fired, besides the biggest surprise was the Patriots firing Mayo?
Yeah, I think they want Mike Vrabel. I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't hire him last year.
They wanted to give Mayo a chance, I think. So,
okay.
I don't
know. There's some big names coming out. Pete Carroll's in the ring with the Bears. The Cowboys block the Bears' attempt to interview Mike McCarthy. That one baffled me.
That just tells me
like the Bears
want
to take
back.
Mike McCarthy off your hands and you block it.
That just tells me he'll be back.
Oh yeah. That made me laugh. The Raiders. I'm surprised the Raiders fired Antonio Pierce unless they have somebody else in mind.
Well, I think they're going to bring in a quarterback, and they probably want to give quarterback and head coach pairing like a brand. They probably want to have a brand new pairing, I imagine.
Am I reading this right? Rex Ryan interviewed for the Jets coaching job?
Yeah, that was a while ago, or a couple days ago.
Are they really considering bringing him back?
Apparently.
And John Gruden's apparently out there again. I wonder if the Raiders will bring him back.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then Doug Peterson was probably the most obvious firing. I feel sorry for the guy, but I don't know if he's going to get another head coaching job.
No, he won't.
He's won a Super Bowl, so that he has that on his resume. But the way the Eagles ended and then the way the Jacksonville ended, I don't know. He might have to get an offensive coordinator job. But anyway, moving on to our picks. Steelers and Ravens. Ravens are 9.5-point favorites. Oh no, that's not the first game. First game on Saturday was the playoffs. Is Chargers and Texans. Texans are always the 4:30 game on every year during the playoffs. Texans are plus 120 on the plus 130 on the money line. Over under is 42.5. Chargers are minus 2.5. I think they're the only other road favorite. Them and Vikings are the only road favorite, I think, this weekend. Yeah. So we both have the Texans. I like the Texans here. I think the fact that they won the last game of the season coming into the playoffs, they're at home. This is Harbaugh's first playoff game in a while in the NFL. He won the national championship last year, as we know. I think he loses the first playoff game in his first year back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everybody's going to be on the Chargers because the way the Texans ended their season, they kind of came in limping, and then before last week they lost 2 pretty bad games, and everybody's high on the Chargers. And it's Jim Harbaugh, yeah, Jim Harbaugh. Everybody is going to probably go by what he did with Michigan last year in the playoffs. So in that playoff format, so I like the Texans. So you like the Texans too?
Yeah, for the same exact reasons. I think people are high on the Chargers right now. People are sleeping on the Texans.
Yep.
Harbaugh has experience in big games, obviously, but I think the Texans are a slightly better team than the Chargers right now.
Yeah, and everybody's riding the Texans off. And as a home dog, I like the home dog.
Yeah, me too.
Nobody's giving them a chance. Everybody thinks, oh, the Texans. I think this is where CJ shines and proves that he is still a good quarterback. He's had a rough season. He lost both his receivers. I mean, he's lost Stephon Diggs and lost Tank. He only has Nico Collins, and most of the season he didn't have Nico. So, and then he has Joe Mixon. I think the Texans have a better, slightly better offense because they have a better running back. I think the quarterbacks are even. They both can make plays on their feet. But yeah, I like the Texans as the home dog. Start off the playoffs, home dog win. An upset here. Steelers and Ravens. I like the Ravens, and we both like the Ravens here. I think the Ravens are just too good, and they just beat the Steelers 3 weeks ago. So, but the Steelers are plus 440 on the money line, minus 9.5. The Ravens. This is the biggest spread of the weekend. It's on Amazon Prime. First playoff game on Amazon Prime at 8 o'clock. Over under is 43.5. The Steelers, just like the Texans, struggled last month of the season. Unlike the Texans, they're on the road and they're playing the Ravens, who are on a mission this year. And this is their opportunity to get to the Super Bowl. AFC is wide open this year. Not wide open, but I think there's 3 teams that can make it. The AFC: the Bills, Ravens, and Chiefs, obviously. Yeah, Yeah, I like the Ravens to win this probably by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are gonna. I don't even know if the Steelers might score a touchdown. To be quite honest, I think they might score less than 10 points.
Yeah. And that will bring me to my best bet later, but yeah. What was I gonna do? Oh. Next game is Broncos and Bills. The first game on Sunday. The Broncos are plus 350 on the money line. Over under is 47.5. 1 p.m. on CBS. And the Bills are minus 8.5. I like the Bills here, but I like the Broncos to keep it slightly close here. The Bills might cover. They might win by like 10 in my mind. I think the Broncos keep it close in the first half, and then the Bills put them away in the second. I think the Bills are on a mission too, just like the Ravens. So, I just think the Bills are ready for the playoffs, and I think the Broncos are just kind of too young. They have a young quarterback making his first NFL playoff game in Buffalo. It's going to be a very tough place to play in the playoff game, especially when I don't know what the forecast is, but that shouldn't matter because they live in Denver. They play in Denver, so you like the Bills still to win?
Yeah, I think the Broncos are great defense. Bo Nix is playing great, but it almost seems like destiny that Josh Allen's meant to have a deep playoff run again. So,
Yep, exactly. I think I think it might be destined for Ravens and the Bills. No, they might even meet next week. I think. Can they meet next week? I guess because they're 2-3. Yeah, they're gonna meet next week if they both win. There's no way they can meet in the AFC Championship game. That sucks. So if everything goes, if the Bills and Ravens take care of business, we might get the AFC Championship game next week. The real one.
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of good divisional matchups. Division round matchups. I mean, you might
Oh
have the
yeah.
Vikings and the Lions. Yeah, I think the AFC is loaded. So yeah, I think we're gonna see some really good matchups next week.
Yep. And the Bills and Chiefs are sending sending thank you cards to to the Chiefs. Oh no, the Chiefs. No, yeah, I was gonna say if the Chiefs had beat the Broncos, the Bengals would be in the playoffs. So maybe that's why the Chiefs didn't care to play. They didn't want the Bengals in the
They want the
playoffs.
Bengals, yeah, for sure.
Nobody wanted the Bengals in the playoffs.
We'll see if it comes back to bite them. Though we'll see if the Broncos end up beating the Bills somehow.
Yep,
Maybe they'll meet again. So
exactly. Or if that 2 week rest is going to hurt them because they're going to have 2 weeks off. And so the 2 weeks, I know Andy Reid's known for that, but sometimes it doesn't work, especially like the Chiefs' offense. But it's Patrick Mahomes, so who am I to question Mahomes? Now to our game, the Eagles game. Packers and Eagles. Eagles are minus 4.5 point favorites. Plus 115 and plus 115 is the odds. plus 194 on the money line for the Packers. Over under is 45.5, 430 on Fox. We both like the Eagles, obviously. I think Jalen Hurts coming back. I know the only concern is he might be a little rusty, but I think the defense is going to carry us in the first half, and then I think we put the game away in the second. I think Jordan Love is more injured than they saying. When they lost Watson for the season, they lost a big weapon there. I think. Let me check the injury report. Hold on. Aren't the Packers missing the defensive player?
Jair Alexander.
Okay.
Your top corner.
I'm checking the injury report. Yeah, so they're losing a big guy on defense too, right?
Yeah, their top corner.
Yep. So, well, I mean, Jordan Love is going to play. They have linebacker Walker, who's injured. Evan Williams is both returned to practice and limited. And, yep, is still out while in concussion protocol. Yeah. So they lost their best safety, and they lost their best Hobby. Would you say they lost their best receiver, or is Reed their best receiver?
Definitely Reed right now.
Okay, but they lost a big receiver. He's at least their second best. He's a big receiver too. So
yeah, it's probably their second best. He's an outside threat. So, but yeah, January has been their best, and he's certainly going to be a miss for them. Also, Jordan Love's hand. You don't know if it's 100%. Probably will be, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's his throwing hand.
Yeah, it's his throwing hand.
Is it? Hold on. Let me see. Love has a right. Oh, his elbow. Yeah, his right elbow. And you know, elbows. You're throwing elbow. That could be a problem, especially in the cold. Especially if you're trying to throw the ball downfield. So you might see a lot of checkdowns for Jordan Love in this game. Who's their running back? Shit.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh, yeah, Jacobs. So you might see a lot of dinky dunks to Jacobs in this game. They might run the ball a lot. So yeah, we both like the Eagles. I like the Eagles to win by at least a touchdown. I think they cover the spread. And I slightly like the over. Maybe I like a 31-21 game.
Yeah, I think two good defenses, but yeah, I'm not sure how the over-under is going to be, but I think it'll be. I don't know. This game's really hard to predict. I think the Eagles should win. They're 4.5, 5-point favorites, but I don't know. Jordan Love can sling it, but I don't know. I can see an upset happening. This is the hardest game for me to predict, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it just depends on Jordan Love's elbow. If he can sling it, if it's bothering him, we can tell. We're gonna see early on if it's bothering him. If he's not throwing, if he's just throwing dinks and dunks to Jacobs and not throwing downfield early. But I like the Eagles to win like 31-21 here. Maybe I'm too confident, but I don't know. And we just don't know how Hurst is going to play either. So that's a problem. Both quarterbacks are hurt. So defense is going to be the key to this game for each team. I think whoever gets it, the turnover battle, will probably win this game. I pick a high scoring game, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. Maybe 23-16. I'll say that instead of 31-21. 23-16. So slightly the under.
I think the Packers might cover.
Yeah, and the under might hit. Yeah, it's going to be a good game. So, and then Sunday night on NBC, we get the Buccaneers and Commanders. But Commanders are plus 138 on the money line. Buccaneers are -3, plus 105 are odds. You like the Commanders here? I'll let you go first here.
Yeah, this was another hard game to predict because I think the Commanders are the better team, but I think the Bucks are just as game as they come. Baker's as game as they come. Can never count them out, and I think that whatever we think about the Bucks, they always end up being better. However, I just think that the Bucks are a little bit banged up. They don't have Chris Godwin, and it just seems like the Commanders are hot right now, even though they didn't look too good last week. But I mean, they weren't really playing for much. So yeah, I got the Commanders here.
Yeah, I like the Buccaneers here. I think Jalen Daniels' first playoff game, it's gonna be hard, just like what's his name, Bo Nix. I don't think either rookie quarterbacks win this week. I think both are gonna be in the playoffs again next year, but I don't think either one will win. So I have the Buccaneers here, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Commanders won. So this is probably the least confident I am in this game. Is this game, the Buccaneers, and probably the Monday night game too. But yeah, I like the Buccaneers here. I since the spread is -3, the Commanders could cover that, and Buccaneers win like 23-21 or something. I think the Buccaneers find a way to win, just like they did last week. I think Mike Evans has a huge game. I think McLean has a big game. I think both quarterbacks have a good game. I think this might be the underrated game of the weekend. Because everybody's looking at the Ravens and Steelers. That's the rivalry. Packers and Eagles, Vikings and Rams. But I think this is an under the radar game. I think this might be the best game of the weekend.
Yeah, I agree. You got two gunslingers, and I think it'll be really competitive. Jaden Daniels, as much as I hate the Commanders, I think he's just so much fun to watch. And Baker, I don't really care for him personality wise, but man, he's a gunslinger, and really really cool to see his career get resurrected in Tampa. So
Yep, exactly. And both quarterbacks are dogs. Both quarterbacks will do anything to win. That's why I think this could be the best game of the weekend. Because you got two dogs out there, you got two gunslingers, you got two guys that can create plays on their feet if they need to. Yeah, both guys will go at it. Both guys will take the hits. Maybe Baker more so than Daniels, but yeah, I think they're both dogs out there. So I think you're gonna see a great hard-nosed, maybe even a high-scoring game. This might be the highest scoring game of the weekend, or maybe this next game, the last game of this weekend, we're predicting Monday night on ESPN, 8 o'clock, probably 8:15, but Rams are the other underdog, plus 100 in money line, and the Vikings are slightly minus 1.5. You have the Rams. I have the Vikings. I'll let you go first again.
Yeah. I think everyone thinks it's a foregone conclusion that it's going to be Vikings and Lions in the second round. I think with everything happening in California right now, with the fires and in LA, I think usually when tragedy strikes like that in a city, the sports teams try to start to rally around that tragedy. I also think that the Rams are kind of underrated. By all accounts, they've had a borderline top 5 offense this year. Matthew Stafford is still playing at a very high level. Puka's healthy. I think Cooper Kupp's healthy. They got Kyron Williams. Jared Verse is a stud on the defense. They got some solid players. So obviously Sean McVay is a really good coach. So I in the playoffs, give me the better quarterback. Right? If it's Stafford versus Darnold, you take the better quarterback all day long for me. So I think the Rams win.
Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings just to be different because most of our picks have been the same, and besides these last two. So I took the Vikings just to be different, and I've taken all home teams up to this point. So I wanted to take at least one road team, and the Vikings are the ones who are the ones I like the best out of the 6 road teams. I'm not very confident in it after watching them last week, but I think their defense is good enough to go on the road and kind of shut down give Matthew Stafford some trouble. I think they have the better defense. I think the Rams have the better offense. So we'll see. I think they both have good receiving duos. In Double J, Jefferson, and Addison, and then you got Cooper Kupp and you got Puka. So they both have good. Yeah, they both have good gunslingers. It wouldn't surprise me if the Rams won, as you said. They're going through a lot there in Southern California, and prayers to everybody over there. Um, and I just like the Vikings slightly, but who knows? This could be another great game. I think the last 2 games could be the best games of the weekend. Not to say the Eagles won't be, but not being biased, so non-biased, I think the last 2 games of the weekend is going to be the 2 best games. Let's get to our wild card bets. Oh. Chris cut off. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay, I'm back.
Yep. And your wild card best bet is Broncos plus 8.5 minus 108 on FanDuel. Yeah, that's a good bet because 8.5 is a tricky line too, and but Bills could win. They could easily win by 7 or 8. I said 10, but I could easily see this hitting backdoor cover. I know there's not usually a backdoor cover in the playoffs, but when teams trying to come back, you never know.
Yeah, I just think that they have a great coach, and I just think their defense is really good. So,
Yep.
I think the Bills win, but I do think that it's not going to be this blowout or they're going to rout them. I think that
it's going to be a tough
Broncos
game.
probably have arguably the best defense in the league. So, yeah.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Eagles and Broncos have probably the 2 best defenses in this playoffs, in this wild card weekend.
Yeah.
and the Vikings. But my best bet, you said it earlier, kind of. You don't think the Steelers are going to score a touchdown? That goes to my under 43.5. It's my best bet this weekend. Yeah, I don't like the Steelers offense. I think it's too boring. And Ravens, I think, well, I think they could win like 24-6. I don't know if they're gonna pound it on them because I mean it is the Steelers and they hate the Steelers, but I don't know if they're gonna like blow them out. I mean they could. I could see this being like 48-6, but who knows? Yeah, 48-6 would be the over, but I like the under here, so I like 24-6, 24-10 type game. I don't think the Steelers are going to score a lot. They might score all field goals. There might be a lot of field goals in this game, because Steelers defense is good. So it's and the Ravens defense is not, but their offense is good. So we'll see. Would you be surprised if the Steelers somehow pull this off? Because it is a rivalry game.
No, I think the Steelers are just. I said it all year. I think the Steelers have. They said it all. I've said it all year that they've overperformed. Right? They haven't played sustainable football, defense, and kicking field goals. That's no. I just think they're so overrated.
Yeah. Yeah. If the Steelers won, that would probably be the most surprising one of the weekend. But I agree that now to our Super Bowl predictions. You have the Ravens over the Lions. We both have Ravens and Lions matchup. I have the Lions winning, and you have the Ravens winning. I think in the preseason that the Lions and Ravens were my matchup, and I'm trying to think if I had the Ravens winning that. But this time I have the Lions over the Ravens. I might have had the Lions over Ravens in the preseason too. So, but if I didn't, I'm switching it up and I think the Lions win, and they win for Detroit. And Detroit gets another championship after Michigan won last year. I mean that's not Detroit, but Michigan is probably biggest school in that state. But yeah, I like the Lions over Ravens. You like Ravens over Lions. I wasn't trying to go biased and pick the Eagles because that would be just too predictable. As much as I wanted to. I know you probably wanted to too, but I would be just too biased. So, yeah, I think it's going to be that last thing is going to be a Lions Ravens matchup. But I will say I think that's probably the popular pick this year, Lions and Ravens.
It is. I think it's Lamar's year. I think it's time. Two-time MVP. I think he gets crowned. Derrick Henry's getting old. Best running back of this generation. And then the Lions, I think if they were fully healthy, they're the best team in the league. Offense is by far the best. It's the best offense I've seen in a long, long, long time. Better than all those Dolphins offenses that set records, better than the Chiefs offenses that I've seen. This might be the best offense since the greatest show on turf.
Yep, I was just about to say that. We haven't seen a offense like this since the greatest show on turf. Yep.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff does remind me of Kurt Warner. Especially this story they both Jared Goff turned around his career in Tampa Bay, not Tampa Bay, in Detroit after getting traded in the Rams. Kurt Warner was a unknown until he started for the Rams after forgot who got injured, but
he was in like the Canadian Football League or something, right?
Yep. I think he was he was like a bad guy. I mean bad guy. Bad boy at a supermarket or something.
Yeah.
So their stories are not similar, but their paths. I think they're kind of the same quarterback. They both are gunslingers. They both have good offenses. I think this Detroit team reminds me of the Rams in 2001 when they beat the Patriots. What? No, the Patriots beat the Rams. When the Rams beat the Titans.
Yeah. Rams beat Titans.
Which one?
Rams beat the Titans.
Yeah, in Super Bowl 2000.
99 or 2000, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 99 season and Super Bowl 2000. Super Bowl 2000. Let me look that up real quick. Super Bowl 2000. Yeah, the Rams beat the Titans 23-16 in January 30th, 2000 at the Georgia Dome. So, yeah. And I just think this could be in a matchup. It's a little chalky. I think a lot of people have this or the Bills. I haven't seen any people pick the Chiefs besides Chiefs fans. So that could be bad. Nobody's picking the Chiefs. Because we all know the Chiefs could find some way to get to the Super Bowl. But it is hard to get to the Super Bowl three years in a row. So, and the Bills and Ravens are two good teams that can stop them.
Yep, I think the AFC is really loaded. So,
yeah, and if we do get the Ravens and Bills next week, as I said, I think that's the AFC Championship game because I think the winner of that will beat the Chiefs. Or if the Chiefs lose next week, then that'd be great. But the winner of the Bills and Ravens going to Super Bowl. Either, yeah. And I wouldn't mind seeing Ravens and Lions. I'm rooting for the Bills versus Eagles, but that would be great. But yeah, you have anything else? What's your score prediction for tonight for Penn State?
Let's see, over under 46, something like that. I think the under is going to hit. I think it's going to be. I think Penn State wins straight up. I think it's going to be like 24-17, something like that.
I think Penn State wins 34-27. I like the over. A lot of people, everybody thinks it's going to go under. I like the over in this game.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
It's going to be a good game. I think it's the best game of the two of games. And who do you have tomorrow? Ohio State?
Ohio State. I think they're going to win it all.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back next week. Maybe Clint will be back with us to hopefully talk about an Eagles victory and an Eagles matchup with the Vikings or Rams, most likely, or even the Commanders. No, it wouldn't be Commanders. It would be either Vikings, Rams, or Buccaneers. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be probably they reseed, right? So
no.
After they don't reseed?
Detroit will play the highest seed left.
Yeah. Okay. So the Detroit's either going to play
the Packers.
If Green Bay wins, they're going to play Green Bay.
Yeah. If Commanders win, they play Commanders.
Yeah. Okay. So assuming the Eagles win, which is not safe, but for the sake of argument, for the next, so the Eagles are probably going to play the Commanders, or
in your scenario, you'll play the Commanders. No, in your scenario, if your predictions, Commanders will go to Detroit, and we would play the Rams. In my scenario,
if the Bucks win, if it's Bucks and Rams,
I have the Bucks. It will be Eagles and Bucks. No, it'll be the Eagles and Rams. Eagles and
Lions play Rams no matter what because they're the fourth seed. Don't the Lions play the Rams no matter what? Because
if the Rams win.
If the Rams win, they're the fourth seed.
Yeah.
So the Lions play the winner of the Rams or the Vikings unless Green Bay wins. So.
Yeah, and in your scenario, you have, since you have Commanders, going to Detroit, and we play the Rams. In my scenario, my predictions, I have the Buccaneers winning, so the Buccaneers will go to. No, the Buccaneers are the fourth seed, right? The Rams are third.
Are they? I don't even know.
Yeah, because the Rams won 10 games. I think 10 games.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Hold on. I'm pretty sure. The Rams. Oh, they both are 10-7. Hold on.
The Rams won the division.
And the Buccaneers won the division. Oh, no, the Tampa Bay is third. My bad. You were right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I thought the Rams was third.
Okay.
So in your scenario, you have the Rams winning, so the Rams go to Detroit. No, the Rams will play the Eagles, and the Commanders will go to Detroit. In my scenario, I have the Vikings and Buccaneers winning. So I have the Vikings go to Detroit, and we play Buccaneers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
that makes sense.
Yeah, that was fun. Enjoy football. Because there's some great football in the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And that's 5 days. 2 college playoff games, and then the wild card weekend.
Yep.
Leading up to the college football playoff leads to wild card weekend. So great job by college football by not putting these 2 college football games on NFL weekend.
Yep, I agree. All right, sounds good.
So, that's it. Later, Chris.
Talk more. See ya. See you next week. Bye.
Yep. Bye.